Welcome to Real Manifestations, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of manifesting, spirituality, healing, and abundance. I'm your host, Anne, and in each episode, we'll explore powerful practices like Reiki, meditation, and the art of manifesting your desires. Whether you're just starting on your spiritual journey or you're looking to deepen your understanding, you're in the right place. Let's unlock the tools that will help you create a life filled with purpose, peace, and abundance. Now let's get started.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. You know, we've been really diving deep into this whole manifesting thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, buckle up because today we're taking it to a whole new level.
Love it.
You've sent over some seriously interesting stuff, and it's clear you guys are super curious about why manifesting seems easier for some people than others. Am I right?
It's a question that's fascinated people for centuries. And you're totally right. The materials you share, they really highlight that.
Right. It's what's the deal? Is it a hidden talent or something? Like winning the cosmic lottery.
Well,
We've got to unpack this. And lucky for us, we have an expert in, get this, personal development ND belief systems here with us today to do just that.
happy to be here.
So I wouldn't say it's about literally winning the lottery, but there's definitely something to be said about hidden potential, right?
Oh,
Murph?
for sure. And what's exciting is that we're not all destined for the same exact outcomes, even if we follow the same steps.
That's so true. One article you shared even called it a hidden superpower, which I love, but it got me thinking. Maybe it's less about a superpower we're born with and more about what we believe about ourselves. The author uses this phrase, hidden beliefs, and it really resonated with me. Have you heard of this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not just about surface level affirmations,
Mhm.
It's about what's going on beneath the surface in our subconscious.
Whoa. So it's the subconscious is calling the shots even if we don't even realize it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine a computer program running in the background, influencing everything you do, but you don't even know it's there.
Okay, that's kind of creepy.
Right.
Mhm.
That's a lot like your subconscious. Let's say you're trying to manifest, I don't know, a new job.
Yeah.
But deep down, you have all these doubts, you don't think you're good enough or you're just not worthy. That underlying belief, even if you're not consciously thinking about it, it can create all this resistance.
Wow. Okay, that's a powerful image. So how do we even begin to identify these subconscious blocks, let alone dismantle them?
Well, the author of that piece about hidden beliefs, they also dive into the importance of emotional alignment. They suggest it's intrinsically tied to how effectively we manifest.
Emotional alignment. Okay, now this is where I think things get really interesting.
Oh, totally.
This is huge.
It's crucial. And it's way more than just thinking positive thoughts. It's about really tapping into the actual feeling of what you want to attract.
So it's not enough to just think, oh, I want a more fulfilling career. I have to connect with the actual feeling of being in that career.
Yes. The author uses this fascinating phrase. They call it high vibe energy.
Okay, I've heard that before, but to be honest, I never really understood it. What does high vibe energy even mean?
It's about cultivating a feeling state that aligns with your desires. Think about it this way. You walk into a room, you can just feel the energy, right?
Yeah,
Maybe it's light and joyful, or maybe it's heavy and tense.
totally.
Our emotions, they emit a similar type of energy,
So when we talk about this whole high vibe energy and manifesting, are we talking about feeling like we already have the thing we want?
That's a great way to put it. It's almost as if the universe responds more to how we feel, rather than to the specifics of what we think we want.
Okay, interesting.
It's less about forcing ourselves to be happy all the time and more about shifting into a feeling state that actually matches our desires.
Okay, so give me an example.
Okay, so let's say I'm working on manifesting a new home.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough to just create a vision board. I have to actually tap into the feeling of what it would be like to actually be living in that space. The excitement, the peace, the joy.
Gotcha. When I was reading through all the stuff you shared, this whole concept of emotional alignment really got me thinking, have you noticed this in your own life, this connection between how you feel and what seems to just show up?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But, the article doesn't shy away from the more, challenging aspects of this either.
Yeah.
It brings up something that I think is super relevant here, which is how, past experiences, even the difficult ones, can impact our ability to manifest.
Right. It talked about how past traumas or, negative experiences can create what the author called energy blocks.
Yes.
And it's not about pretending those things didn't happen. It's about acknowledging how they might be impacting us energetically.
Exactly. It's like these experiences, they can leave these energetic imprints that we might not even be aware of.
Energetic imprints. Okay.
For example, let's say someone had a childhood experience where they were constantly being criticized for, their creative endeavors. As an adult, they might find themselves really struggling to manifest a career in the arts, even if it's something they deeply, deeply desire. That past hurt, that old story they're carrying, it might be creating a block without them even realizing it.
That's such a clear illustration of how these energy blocks can show up. So what can we do about it? Because that could feel really disheartening. Oh, great, I'm destined to just repeat these patterns.
That's the thing, you're not. The author really emphasizes that healing is possible, and it's a crucial part of the manifesting process. They mention a few things that can help us release those blocks. Things like journaling, meditation, energy healing, even therapy can be incredibly powerful.
So we're not slapping on a happy face and pretending the hard stuff didn't happen. We acknowledge it, we work through it, and that's actually what allows us to move forward.
Exactly. And that actually leads us to another really important point the author makes, which is that manifesting, it's not about bending the universe to our will,
Right.
It's more of a collaboration.
I love it. A collaboration. So it's about working with the universe, not against it. Tell me more about what you mean.
Well, the author talks about this concept of divine timing, which really resonated with me. It's this idea that things might not always happen on our preferred timeline, and that delays or unexpected outcomes are not necessarily failures.
Okay.
It's about trusting that there's a bigger plan unfolding,
Okay, so how do we tell the difference between a block we need to work through and just divine timing working its magic?
That's a great question. And it's something a lot of people grapple with, to be honest. The author doesn't have all the answers, but they do offer a really interesting perspective.
Yeah.
What if those seeming detours, they're actually the universe's way of redirecting us towards something even better?
Interesting.
Or aligning things in a way that serves our highest good, even if it's not what we initially envisioned.
Which, that connects back to what we were talking about earlier, the idea of the soul's path. It's what we're meant to manifest might show up in a way we never could have predicted. And maybe it's even more amazing than what we initially had in mind.
Right. It's about surrendering to the journey and trusting that the universe has our back, even when things get messy or don't go according to plan.
Mm-hmm.
It requires us to relinquish some control and surrender to the flow.
Okay, this has been super insightful, but let's get practical for a second.
Right.
What are some tangible things we can do to actually apply these principles and manifest more effectively? I know the article mentioned a few concrete steps.
It did. And I think we can break them down into a few key actions. Strengthen your belief, align emotionally, release those old blocks, and of course, trust the timing.
I love how you just distilled that. Those are fantastic points. Okay, so let's dive into each of those a bit deeper. Okay, so strengthening our belief. Where do we even begin with that?
Well, the author offers some really great practices for this.
Okay.
They emphasize the importance of daily affirmations, those positive statements that reinforce what we want to create,
Right.
And it's not just about saying the words, it's about feeling them, believing them, on a deeper level.
Because if a part of us doesn't truly believe what we're affirming, our subconscious is nice try, but I'm not buying it.
Exactly. The author also talks about challenging those sneaky little doubts that creep in.
Yeah, those.
Instead of getting bogged down by what ifs, try shifting your focus to the possibilities. What if it all works out even better than you can imagine?
Ooh, I like that. It's giving our minds permission to dream bigger,
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, what about emotional alignment? We talked about how important it is, but how do we actually cultivate those high vibe feelings consistently?
One powerful practice the author highlights is gratitude.
Oh, okay.
Taking the time to really appreciate what we already have, it can instantly shift our energy into a higher vibration. And the great thing is, it's something that anyone can start doing right now.
Absolutely. It's such a simple but profound practice. Now, releasing those blocks that can feel, a bit daunting.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
It can be daunting, yeah, but it's also incredibly empowering. You remember that journaling we talked about?
Yeah.
That can be a great way to start processing those past experiences, uncovering any hidden beliefs that might be holding you back. And if those experiences feel like too heavy to work through on our own, that's where, seeking professional support like therapy can be so valuable.
Right, absolutely. It's a sign of strength to ask for help when we need it.
For sure. Okay, and finally, trusting the timing. That can be one of the hardest parts, I think, surrendering control and just trusting that things will unfold as they're meant to.
It's true, but it's also incredibly freeing. When we release that need to control every little outcome, we open ourselves up to receiving the magic that unfolds when we least expect it.
This has been such a rich and insightful conversation. I love how the author reminds us that we're all on our own unique journeys, and comparing ourselves to others is just not helpful.
Totally agree. It's about focusing on our own paths and trusting the process.
And that ending line of the article has really stuck with me. Keep going, stay aligned, and most importantly, believe. It's such a simple but powerful reminder.
It is, and it highlights that this is an ongoing journey, not a destination.
So true. Well, on that note, as you continue your own manifesting journey, here's a final thought to ponder. What if the biggest block isn't the how of manifesting, but the why behind what we're trying to attract? Is it truly aligned with our soul's path? Something to explore. Until next time, keep diving deep.
Thank you for joining me today on Real Manifestations. I hope this episode has inspired you to take your next step toward a more abundant, fulfilling life. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and if you enjoyed today's conversation, please leave a review or share it with someone who could benefit. Remember, you hold the power to manifest your dreams. Until next time, keep shining your light and embracing the journey.